Hey, welcome to worshiptutorials.com, and thank you for checking out our demo of the Worship Tutorials Match Chief preset. It's the Chieftain, the Matchless Chieftain. How would you describe the Chieftain, Bradford? Having played all these different amps and profiles and models, the Chieftain would be what to you?
It's a little more... It's like the matchless Voxy thing, but with a little more roundness.
It does like
a little more Fender-y thing.
It does have a Fender thing to especially the bass response.
Like not a Fender amp, but
right.
like it starts like introducing the flavor a wee bit. Like you said, the bass response. So we're not saying it sounds like a Fender. We're saying it's if they started adding it just a tail end of it.
It's like you could say that it's the best sounds of Fender and Vox kind of together.
It does kind of feel like that.
A blend of the two.
Yeah.
It's definitely bigger, rounder sounding than like the DC-30 from the Matchless DC-30.
Yeah.
Right? And so what we have done in this patch, in this preset, is given you everything you might possibly need.
Which
the Axe Effects is crazy.
There's so much you can do.
What you get with this preset, you get it's just one download. But it comes with all these different options. So we've got the Fractal FC12 functionality built in. And in the ReadMe notes that you get with it, please read those if you have questions, because we put a lot of information in there. I have...
information that we'll probably just end up copying and pasting to answer a question if you have
yes,
one.
Right.
Not because we don't want to help, but because we get lots of questions.
Exactly. So on the FC12, there's all kinds of programming for the FC12. If you use layers, let me... pull it up. 7 and 8. So the FC12 gives you this layers option. Layer 7 is the scenes layer. There we have put all the preset scenes that we built. And layer 8 is the effects option. And that is where you get access to all the individual effects. Now we couldn't put all of them on there, so we put the ones that you think you will want the most. So,
but you can make a change out if you want to.
So in this preset you've got... and each block on an Axe Effects, if you don't know this, has 4 states, A, B, C, and D. So that means
I think you need to explain how awesome that is, because you just said that as though it was no big deal.
So if you pull in Drive 1 block, right, you have A, B, C, and D. So the Drive block, you can pull up any of the Overdrive models that Fractal has.
Right.
And on it, you can have any of those models on channel A, any of those models on channel B. So like Drive 1 block can have 4 different states. That's 4 completely different overdrives. It can be the same overdrive in each slot but with different settings. And then you can access those with foot switches if you want to. So you can set up the FC12 to get you A, B, C, or D.
So the way we do it is Drive 1 and all the different options are... our choices and our settings for what we would think would be a good Drive 1. Like a lower
gain drive.
Lower gain drive. And so for drives, Drive 1, 2, and 3, each one's got different options you can choose. Maybe your guitar reacts better with a different version of a tube screamer or something like that.
Right.
And you can pick which one you like within, we have our settings, because we've actually made sure all 4 sound good.
Yes. Yeah, we went in and dialed in every channel of every block in this preset.
These are meticulous. We should be charging $50 for these.
No way.
No.
It's $5. $5. At least currently. If it's more, then I'm sorry, you missed out. We've raised our prices. So Drive 1 is all of your low gain drives. You've got 4 different choices. They're all different. Yeah. So pick your favorite. Slot A, channel A is always our favorite option.
That's why it's A.
Drive 2 is going to be sort of the mid-gain drives, like a Tube Screamer, King of Tone. Well, we have King of Tone in A, but we voiced it like the yellow side of yours.
Yeah. And
then in slot 2, we voiced it like the red side of yours. So it's a little more gain. And then C is like the big drives. And
or distortion even more specifically.
The rat in the Axe Effects is like the best sounding rat. Yeah. So it's awesome. So that's kind of our go-to for that one. And then you can stack drives. So in the lead scene, for example, it's Drive 1 and Drive 3. So it's a King of Tone into a rat.
For the lead sound.
To give you the lead sound. And, check this out. In the output block, you can set your scene levels. And so we set the scene level for the lead scenes, which would be scene 4 and scene 7. Lead and then lead with a pog. we set them to be like 1.5 dB louder than anything else. So your lead tone just pokes out just a little bit. So if you want to, the Axe FX lets you do that really easily. You can take any scene and just increase the level or decrease the level to do whatever you want.
Don't need that, you can just off.
Make it 0 again.
Your sound guy may appreciate it, but actually, we've said this before. Our sound guy actually said something to Brian one time and asked for a specific dB.
Can you give me 3 dB more volume on this sound? And I said, well, of course I can.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's drives. We have, in this one, we have tremolo, and we have 4 different tremolo options.
Again,
channels A, B, C, and D.
Pick one.
Pick whichever one is your favorite and save that into it.
And in this instance, it's just, they're pretty different flavors. It's not like a different drive one. It's like different shapes.
And a couple of them sync to the tempo that you tap in, and a couple of them don't. So you can go in and pick those. And then you have, of course, there's a compressor block, and we have 2 different versions of compression. A little bit more and a little bit more one is a little more transparent, one is a little more heavy-handed, a little more squishy. And then there's volume block. I'm going through this by memory. And then there's the amp block. And in the amp block, channel A for the amp is voiced for single coils. I point to this guitar. This does not have single coils. Channel B is voiced for humbuckers. And these are, we use different guitars through it. You might want to make changes to your guitars, of course. Yeah. But that's how we set it up. A is single coil, B is humbucker.
Get you in the right general ballpark direction.
And then if you open up Axe Edit, you'll see it. Then this stack of delays comes in. So we have 12 different flavors of delay. So delay block 1 is quarter note and eighth note delays. So channel A and B are quarter note delays, just different flavors. Channel C and D are sort of the same types of delay, but set for eighth notes. All right, delay block 2 is all dotted eighths, and there are different versions of dotted eighth. We have some that are analog, some that are like a deluxe memory man, some that are a little more prominent than others. Again, go through, play them, pick your favorites. And then delay block 3 is all dual delays. Mm-hmm. So channel A is like an eighth note and a dotted eighth note. Channel B is dotted eighth and quarter, or those might be backwards. Channel C is kind of a really cool syncopated rhythmic delay that we thought sounded really neat. We haven't used it a lot, but it's a pretty interesting delay. And then channel D of the dual delays is like your big swells delay. It just goes on, and it modulates a little bit. All right, then you hit the cab block, and we're using dual cabs, Matchless Chieftain cabs that are stock from Fractal. And then you hit the column of reverb. And there are 12 different reverbs in this thing. We went a little crazy. Yeah, so reverb block 1 is all...
Yo, dog, I heard you like reverb, so we gave you some reverb so you can use reverb while you're reverberating.
Thank you. So reverb 1 has four different channels of sort of normal reverb. You've got like a hall, a plate. You've got recording room C or whatever they call it. That's like the go-to for us, that reverb. It almost has like a spring sound to it. That's like the main... normal, we call it short verb on the controller. And then reverb block 2 is all the ambient verbs. And it includes the newer ambient verbs that Fractal put out recently. And then there is a third block. It's not a reverb block, it's the Plex block. And that just you get some crazy reverbs in there. Yeah. So we've got 4 channels of that set up.
And that's like more like a delay kind of sort of.
It is a delay, but you can set it to like smear together.
Yeah. And then like diffuse it, so it's...
Yeah, and you can do pitch with it. It's pretty crazy what you can do with that. The Plex block. But they added a Plex verb, actually, into it. Okay. That was a new addition. Mm. And so that we use for like swell... Yeah, that one, it's like haunting sounding. Yeah. And it just goes on and on. But we set it up so that it doesn't really like... overtake your tone either. So on the swell stuff on this, you can actually play, and you can hear what you play, but you just have a wash going on underneath it. And then after the reverbs, I believe, is the output. We forgot there's a pitch block in there too. So we have different sort of pog and shimmer settings in the pitch block. Again, all 4 blocks of all these channels. I think the compressor is the only one where we didn't set up. The compressor and the amp don't have channels C and D set up. Yeah. But everything else has it all. So these Axe FX presets are extremely fully featured. and they sound awesome. And we have a lot more available. Link below. We hope you have enjoyed the demo of the Matchless Chieftain, the Match Chief preset. Do you have any final words regarding the Matchless Chieftain? I just want to talk about this amp. Because I've never played an actual Chieftain.
Neither have I.
I've played, of course, this. I've played...
We're a bunch of crooks.
I know. We're a bunch of...
Crocs.
A bunch of modeling direct guys. I've played a lot of profiles of it. It is a really cool... I feel like I know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Even having not played... They're very expensive. That's part of the deal. So, doesn't James Duke play one? As
far as I remember.
It has been one of his main amps.
It was one of his favorites, yeah.
Yeah, it just has a really cool... I mean, it sounds huge.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like this mash of Fender. I wouldn't say it sounds like Fender or Vox necessarily. It's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
But definitely has the ID of both of those makers in it. Anyway, link below to get this preset and many more for the Fractal Audio Axe FX 3 amp bass patches like this and song bass patches as well.
Worshiptutorials.net.
That's not correct. See you next time. Bye.